why the business that you spent a lot of your life, or all of your lives creating, just stops because you're gone. I've had that experience way too many times. And business succession planning is something that I just feel very passionately about. And I hope that passion comes out here today as I address you. I mentioned to Rick that I finished my last presentation on this subject last night at 9 o'clock down in Trumbull County. So I've had a dangerous amount of caffeine to be invited to be a little jumpy. You'll understand why. The fact of the matter is that if you have an estate plan in place, a will or a trust or both, then you've designated someone to take over and to manage and conclude, wrap up, or sell your business to someone else. But if you don't, your business, whatever business it is the Titanic waiting to sink. It will stop. And unfortunately, sometimes in the middle of the night, please watch that table, it will tip over. I learned that early this morning. Can't lean on the table. Your business will stop when your heart stops beating, or you, worse yet, you're alive and you become incapacitated. It just stops. And the reason is that from a legal standpoint, no one has any right to carry on your business, to conclude pending contracts, to satisfy customers, to write checks, to pay your bills. No one has the right to do that unless you have the documents in place to make sure that happens. And that means your business just stops. Very famous case from down in Trumbull County where a wedding store, the stores that do the gowns and the tuxedos and the cakes and all of that, just came to a screeching halt when the owner died, and all these people had unfulfilled commitments. They were ready to hold the event and there was no one there to run it. So I ask you to say to yourself, what would happen to your business, my business, your business, tomorrow if something happened to you? Now, if you become incapacitated under Ohio law and you're over the age of 18, there is no one who has the capacity to step in and take over your affairs unless the court appoints a guardian. I can promise you this. I don't care where the court is located, they don't want to run a business. And they will force, in almost every case, the liquidation of your business. That means they're going to auction off the assets that you have. And the reason is because courts don't want to supervise the operation of a business. Consequently, if you're alive but incapacitated, unless you've given someone a power of attorney, but a power of attorney that specifically authorizes them to operate your business, the business stops. No one has authority to do anything. When you die, everybody notice the way I said that? By actual count, 99% of the people that come in to see me say, you know, Jack, if I die, come on. My kids say to me, you got to get real, so let's get real. And the realness of this is that when we die, no one has the right to take over unless you've put in place something, either in a will, in which event the probate court is going to run your business until it is either liquidated or sold, or a trust. In my opinion, a trust is the preferable way to go because then your business affairs are outside of public view. A lot of people don't know this. If you have a will, and I hope everybody in this room has at least a will, I'll tell you a story about a will. Every time I bring up a will, I think of this. True story. I didn't write this will, I'm glad to say, but it actually came in front of me when a man died and we had to probate his estate. This will said, here's who gets this and here's who gets that, and lastly, I want all of my creditors, the people that I owe money to be my pallbearers. They've carried me this far, they might as well finish the job. Please don't say that. And by the way, don't try to get even in your will, okay? That's just not the right thing to do. It causes family reunions to be a little cold after that. But if you have a will, and that will goes into probate, which is where wills have to go, and your business is a part of what goes under your will through probate, it's a matter of public record. So any of us, you want to come with me or after this meeting, let's go down to Ravenna or Trumbull County or Mahone, walk into the probate court and say, I want to see the files on everybody that died last month. And they have to show it to you. You're not related to them. You're not an inheritor, but it's a public record. So your business affairs become a public record. And if you don't think that your competitors will march in there and start going through the file, or worse yet, people that could be candidates to buy your business, they have all of the records because it's a matter of public record. So, I think I've paraded the horribles enough. And unfortunately, I've preached this to my clients over and over again, and the enemy is exactly what's going to happen when we all walk out of here. Yeah, I know, I'll get to it. Okay. I could write another book, fill a book about that thick, of people who have said, I know I'm going to get around to it, I'll take care of it, and then something else gets in the way. The cell phone gets in the way. Your business gets in the way. Please don't let this happen to your family. If you own a business, you either have to address what happens if you become disabled or when you die, and when you die, you have to address that in your legal documents. And if it's a will that you use, that's fine, but just understand that it's then a matter of public record. If you create a trust, I'm a pacer, I know that's not going to be good for the camera, but if you are a business owner and you don't want your affairs out in public, and I certainly don't, then you create something called a revocable living trust. And that's a document that basically enables you to create a box, and then you put the things into the box that you own, and then it's not a matter of public record at any time. Does everybody need a trust? No, but keep something in mind. Once your affairs are settled, and whether it's life insurance or your retirement plans or whatever it may be, it's all going to pass to somebody. And if you don't say in writing who it will pass to, in a will or a trust, then the law of Ohio is going to say who gets it. Let me give you a startling statistic. And this is by actual survey that I have done among my own clients, and I've talked to lawyers around the country that do what I do. The average length of time it takes an inheritor to spend everything they inherit, from very small to very large, 1 year. Sometimes less than a year. If they're under 30, it's 90 to 180 days. Now there's something wrong with this, okay? I mean, we take a lifetime to build and nurse along and protect, and we walk the floors at night, we're worrying about all this, and we want to push to the next generation, and it's gone. It's just gone in a year or less. How do you stop that? A trust. And a trust is like a box with 2 spigots on it. The spigots can be opened or closed depending upon behavior and need. And I put behavior first because if you are dumping an inheritance on an heir that has a problem, that inheritance can go in a vein, up the nose, or down the throat very quickly. And you can be truly pouring gasoline on a burning fire. So, my message to you today, and then I'm glad to answer any questions you might have. My message is, this is something you've got to plan. Please don't do this to your family. Allow the business that you've spent all this time and effort and sweat building up to just disappear, sink like the Titanic when you die or if you become disabled. One more thing. The average cost of nursing home care in this part of Ohio today, $8,000 per month per child, per person, whomever it may be. And by the way, people think, well, that nursing homes are only for old people. Well, my mother was in a nursing home around here, and the patient across the hall was 19 years of age going nowhere. So if you want to make sure that your business survives and that your family survives financially, you've got to do something about planning for nursing home care. If you are incorporated in your business, there are ways, legal and legitimate ways, to have long-term care insurance, which I know Rick is very familiar with, and the business can actually pay for it, and depending upon how your business is structured, it either may or may not be fully tax deductible. You don't have to include everybody in it. So I know I'm throwing a lot of ammunition here at you, but all I can say to you is you're all in business. You've got to protect that business. You've got to protect it while you're alive, and you've got to protect it if you become disabled and when you die. So my message to you is business succession planning. Who's going to succeed to your business? Who's going to step in? Critically important. Please don't leave home without it. Any questions? Yes, sir.
I have a three-pronged question approach. You can handle however you want. If you have a trust, if you put, like, let's say, can you put like stuff like material objects as well as like equity in your home? Or for me, I have a business. Most of my business I bought and paid for on my own credit